I realized I hadn't explained that your cloud documents are available here, cloud documents and home. You can see your documents, but if you're in another tab like Learn, you can't see your documents. So be aware of these choices over here. But right now we want to open up our Layers01 file that we saved and closed. And we have just this one layer that's named BG. We got a background layer. And adding new layers and having an option to name them, you know, without double clicking on this to get the layer options up. There's a couple different ways to do it. And there's, of course, a couple different behaviors. And I'll be the first to admit, I didn't expect one of them. Actually, two of them surprised me. So I'm going to try to prep you for this because I don't know how you're going to do it. I don't like going in this. Here, I'm going to pull this layers panel out so you can see it over here. This hamburger menu right here, these three lines, you can see it's in many of the panels, which means there are options right here. If I click on this, there's a whole bunch of options, including new layer. The interesting thing about this, I don't think I've ever added a new layer from the hamburger menu. And when I clicked on it, I was surprised that the options popped up. Well, that's kind of cool that you get the options automatically. Of course, you got to go into that hamburger menu to make that happen. So if you know what you want to call the layer, this is a great way to work, and you can rename it and just continue working. So I'm going to hit cancel to make that go away. The traditional way to add new layers, the way I've done it for years, for so long I can't remember doing it another way. In Illustrator, in Photoshop, I use the keyboard, is this little add new layer icon. And when you click on this, it adds a new layer. I'm going to hit Command Z to undo that. If you hold down Option and click on this, you get the layer options. And that's a good way to remember it. You hold down Option to get the options. See right there? So that's the way I've always worked. And I was hunting for the menu item. I don't work from the menu very much. And I thought, it has to be up there. I'm going to hit cancel. There has to be a way to add a new layer from the menu. I can't find it. If it exists, I am completely unaware of it. So, how do you want to work? The one thing, when I went looking for this, though, I found a keyboard shortcut I never knew about. Like I said, in Photoshop, I'm adding new layers all the time via the keyboard. Command L. It doesn't get any. Command L, new layer. Command L, new layer. And hit Command Z. Command Z gets rid of layers. Now, I thought, well, how cool is that? If I add Option to this, I'll get the layer options, and this is the way I'm going to work from now on. So if I hit Command L, and then I want to add another layer, but I want to name this layer, Option Command L, boom, layer options show up. Except, look over here. Look where layer 3 went. It went below the active layer. And if you didn't see that, I'm going to hit cancel. I'll prove it by starting out here in the background and hit Option Command L. It went below the background layer. So where did that come from? And it may be a Photoshop thing because you can hold down Command to add a layer below the active layer in Photoshop. That's a great way to work with this button. But here, what happens if I hit Command? Let me cancel that. And hold Command and hit that. Nope, it went straight to the top. So you got me. This is weird. Once again, I'm going to hit Command Z, and show you one more thing. It is important. Let's say you like this Option Command L. You like it, and you want to rearrange layers. I'm just going to click OK, so this is layer 2. If I move layer 2 above the background layer, no problem. That's great, huh? If I drag it up and get near the top, see that blue line? If that blue is highlighted there, though, it goes inside the background layer. It becomes a nested layer. But when you drag it up and you see that line, if you go too far and that line disappears, nothing happens. If you drag it up, you see that line? Bonus. An easier way to do that, I'm going to hit Command Z. An easier way to move is always to move. If you got a space at the bottom, that's easy, because down here you just let go and boom, it pops in. So, adding a new layer and naming it. Now, watch this. If I add a new layer there, it went in between and hit Command Z. However, if I hit Command L, the new layer is not going to go above this one. It's going to go to the top of the stack. I know you're probably confused. I was. These are unexpected behaviors. This isn't how I would expect the application to work. So what I want you to do is play around. Add new layers. Click down here. Add a new layer. You see that it went in between. You know, you add a new layer there, it went in between. Then you can play around with reordering them, try to get things set up so you understand how to move layers without dropping them into another layer and all that. Then you can learn how to throw things away. If I click, I can click on the trash can and make that go away. But I can also click and then hold down Shift. Shift lets me select a range of items. I mean, this works in menus. It works all over the place. Shift says, I will select everything between the first and the last one you click on. Then I can throw those away. Let's say we only want to throw away this one and this one. You hold down Command in order to select discontiguous objects. Oops, I accidentally selected that one too. You hold down Command, see? Command, and click in order to deselect. And then you can throw away that. Practice this, okay? Practice, practice, and then the last layer, you can't throw it away. You have to have one layer. Illustrator won't let you work without layers. Thank goodness. How horrible would that be? So, play around with this and know how to not only add layers, but to add layers with the layer options active. And remember, you don't have to go there. You can always hold Option down and click that. Cool, huh?